So welcome to Tecman Talks Dynamics. Today we just have myself and Liz.
Hello.
And James and Liam are sunning themselves somewhere abroad. So so our subject today is about upgrades, I'm afraid, but it's talking about customers that are on older versions, so NAV, probably all the way
Right up to
BC14.
It's not just NAV and BC, right up to BC14 and earlier, and still have development using the old environment. Really, that's who we're talking about. The customers that are, let's be honest, late to the party.
We have mentioned it a couple of times before.
Yeah. So, but this is very specific. I think now we've got to a bit of a watershed moment here now, and actually upgrading is now very, very difficult. The product is so different to what it was back when even BC14 was released. The client looks different, the development environment's different. There is so much there's so many new features that actually upgrading has become really difficult. And if you've got modification, especially significant modification in certain areas, that now has to be completely rewritten. And by trying to make it work like the old way, you are potentially missing out on being able to use lots of new features.
Yeah, the code base is so different that just taking, we had this function here, make it so over here. Yeah, you can go and read the code, but it can take longer to read the code than to have a discussion about what the requirement
you'll potentially limit yourself because you'll basically re-engineer the new version to work like the old version, and then you lose the future features that are going to come. So I just think we're at a bit of a watershed moment, and actually I would probably not even bother trying to upgrade a solution now. I think unless very specific circumstances, and like lots of these things that we say, it's not necessarily a one size fits all, but I think in general, a re-implementation, if you're still on these older versions, is a better approach. And what people should be thinking of. Also, as well, we have to do, you can't upgrade, can you now, you won't be able to upgrade to 26, which is the latest version anyway, directly from BC14, let's say. There's now, because of the significant changes in the background, there's now an additional step. So that just makes an upgrade even more costly and time consuming and complex and, difficult to do. So I think
it's possible, but is it cost effective?
Yeah. So we would probably recommend now, if you're still on one of these older versions, if you've got minimal modification, absolutely 100% definitely just go for a vanilla install of Business Central and add on any must-have modifications as you go through that process.
If you need to
re-implement completely.
That's the thing is that the application may do it anyway now. You may not need any small modifications, or there might be a third party application that does that just as well. So
which is a better future solution anyway.
Yeah.
So certainly if you've got minimum modification, then and actually if you've got integrations in general, they would need to be completely rewritten anyway.
Because it lives in the cloud now. It lives somewhere different. So it doesn't understand the same things as well.
Yeah, so whether you upgrade or re-implement, they're going to be rewrites because it's just different technology and needs to be done differently. And there'll be better ways to do it anyway. You've got lots and lots of different options now that we didn't have 10 years ago. So there are probably better ways to do it anyway. So integrations would have to be redone. What about data? So obviously, if you've got lots and lots of data that you still want to report on, then there's various options there as well, isn't there? You don't have to lose it all.
No, I mean you'd want to keep access to the old system at least for 7 years anyway, from an accounting perspective.
Which you can do on a local server, and not pay any license for. You can keep that because you've bought a perpetual license, and you just keep that.
Although you still have the cost of obviously running the hardware.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's unfortunately that's life.
Yeah.
But there's other options. What you could do from a reporting perspective is take a one-off dump of that data into the cloud and then join it together with a tool, and there's different tools out there, third-party tools that can help that. There's discussions where Microsoft are going at some point in the next few years might be able to allow us to do that easier. With some of the cloud tools around data. So,
but even now, with some of the reporting tools that we use, we can keep that historic data that doesn't get updated. It just sits there and can be used for reporting purposes. And then if you need to do things like reprint invoices, then you just access the old version if you need it. But
and
I mean,
that need goes very quickly.
Yeah. Absolutely. GL balances, if you want period on period reporting, you could bring them in by period. So you get that. Rather than bringing in one opening balance, you bring it in by months, by dimension by month, so you can still get that level of reporting. But generally, there is not a huge amount of benefit of dragging all that old data forward with you, and actually look at it as an opportunity to review your chart of accounts, review your dimension structure, get rid of the customers that you haven't traded with for 19 years, that you imported when you did your first implementation last time, and all the stock items that are no longer needed, the bills of material, all the data that you don't need. Don't drag it forward. Use it as an opportunity to be nice and clean when you bring it into the cloud.
It's as if you move into a new system, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the way you look at it. Yeah. And actually, you should look at it like that. So you need to train your users, because the way that you navigate around the system and some of the features that they can use, some of the ways of filtering and exporting and managing data, it's so different that you need to approach it as a fresh install and train your users properly to use it.
But so much better.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's chalk and cheese, isn't it? If you if you took one of our users that had only ever known BC SaaS and gave them
now 2013,
2014, 2015, 2018, they would be absolutely horrified by what they couldn't do.
Sometimes some of those screens where you got loads of icons and you don't know what they were, and you had to hover over them to wait for the tooltip to appear.
They would be absolutely horrified. So I think that's a really important point, isn't it? Your users deserve to have the latest technology to work with. You shouldn't be having to use systems that are so antiquated and out of date now. I think people
when there's
something so much better there.
Yeah, people come into the business as well that are used to the Microsoft applications. They're a lot more familiar with it, so it's easier for them to learn as well, rather than this old clunky system that's a bit strange.
Yeah.
In terms of data as well, the other thing to think about, going back to that, is there's a cost as well. So you only get a certain amount of kind of data size capacity before you have to start paying extra. It's quite a lot, and it does most customers quite a long time. But if you have got years and years worth of data and you start to try and migrate that over, there's
definitely more cost efficient ways of storing that data than trying to migrate it, because you've got the cost of migrating it and you've got the cost of storing it, both expensive. There's better ways, definitely. And then you just link them together, because the only thing you need them for really is reporting purposes. And if ever you needed them for, I don't know, some kind of audit purposes, then you've always got a backup that can be restored in the future anyway. So you're never going to lose it completely. So on the point of cost, then, some people might be put off migration to the cloud because of having to move to subscription licenses. So there is a cost, and most people will pay more. There are promotions available that are available to the end of this year, as far as we know, where you can get significant discount for 3 years on that cost. But people need to bear in mind that, yes, it is operationally, there is a higher cost per month for running on the SaaS system, but actually included in that cost is all your hardware, because you don't need any hardware.
SQL licenses.
So all your SQL licenses. all the updates to the system, so you're getting your monthly updates, and so there will be no future. There's no upgrade cost other than the managed service to keep it going.
Backup software.
Yeah.
Yeah, the time to manage it.
Yeah, just so many costs avoided by going that way. Now, if you're still paying enhancement plan, so an annual maintenance fee, and you're not planning to upgrade, save yourself the money.
We've said this before.
It's giving you no benefit. Save yourself the money and save up for an upgrade, re-implementation, I should say.
If you do stop that, what you can't then do is add users or add objects, so functional, tables and pages. So if you're going to do that and you're going to stick with it for another 5 years, just think about what you're going to need over the next 5 years.
Talk to your engagement manager, talk to an expert, and make the decision is the best thing to do. But actually, you might find that it's just a waste of money, and you can save that money up and then re-implement in a few years.
Put it in your pot for re-implementation.
Yeah, but that if you think about what is coming in the future, particularly around Copilot, agents, reporting, on the current versions that you are on, you will be able to take advantage of none of that.
Mm-hmm. Even kind of taking the future to one side, currently just sat in the cloud, in terms of the Microsoft kind of ecosystem that you're sat there with things like Power Automate, Power Apps, Power Pages, customer portals, supplier portals, building your own automations, building your own little apps for various little things. It's just there. It's pretty straightforward to do these days. You get licensing for most of that as part of BC anyway.
Yeah.
So there's not really much additional license cost. So it's and that security and reliability and uptime, and it adds so much. But the future is going to be a game changer really with agents, where autonomous kind of AI that sits there and does a particular task for you.
So get onto the latest version, get your data ready, and then you can take advantage of all these things when it comes. But obviously, as I think we've said before, and on so many occasions, being able to use it like this, you need to have good, reliable data that that you're comfortable with, that can help make these decisions as part of the. Get ready now so that you can start to use these features when they become available, because your competitors will be.
Yeah, and agents will certainly bring a lot of efficiency into business process, and allow you to grow without adding more people.
Huge.
So it is the future.
So I think we've made our point. You're late to the party. Probably not worth upgrading now. You've got to look at re-implementation, which is a great opportunity to think of it like a new system, train your users, get your data sorted out, and get ready for all the exciting new things that are to come.
Agree.
And that's all I've got to say for today.
Cool. Well, it was brief. It was beautiful. That's what they say.
Short and to the point, like you and me, Matt.
That's it. Okay. Thanks for that, Liz. So thanks for listening, everybody. Hopefully there may even be some existing BC users still listening. But if not, think about what we've said, and thank you for listening.